hit, the bass will reverberate throughout your body.
Oh, yeah.
And you actually feel the tension as like, let's say a music buildup comes in, like just drums.
Oh yeah.
And you feel it throughout your body and you feel the tension. I mean, Harry Potter is Star Wars.
Oh wait, Dark Lord, Chosen One,
Open Boy, Forced to Live with Aunt and Uncle. You know?
Oh yeah.
Harry and Luke. Finds out he's a wizard. Gets taken by an old guy to train with another old guy. You know, it's literally Star
Obi-Wan,
Wars.
Yoda.
Like J.K. Rowling was not a visionary. She just ripped off of Star Wars.
When Netflix first started popping up, it was that, oh, okay, you want to watch TV? Pay for all these packages or pay for one package, and then you get these channels.
So yeah, welcome to Qatartainment. We're glad to have you on board.
Happy to be here. You guys have quite a setup going on here, I noticed.
We do our best. We do our best.
We try.
Oh yeah, we try. We do our best and we try.
So give us a bit of backstory.
Yeah, I mean,
who is Hayan, you know?
If you guys haven't seen me before, I'm Hayan. I'm a YouTuber. I go by I'm No Super, I'm No Superman. I do mostly gaming stuff. So that's why I got brought into this, you know? It's a little bit of worlds collide sort of thing.
So a little bit of background story. How did you find us in general?
You know, I was looking for other creators in the space, and it's a small space, so
Oh yeah.
you don't have to look far. You guys popped
yeah.
up pretty easily, and it looked pretty interesting. You guys have a fun podcast, so thought I'd see if I could hop on.
We're fun. I didn't know we're fun. We're fun.
Do you not
We're
want to
old.
be fun?
We're old.
Speak for yourself, man.
Yeah, me and
Oh, my
we're
back hurts.
young over here.
My back hurts. So
You know, it's okay. It's okay. I've accepted it, you know?
we all have. Man. Now my knee even hurts.
Right. Well, you know, like, what is it that got you started into YouTube?
Oh well, you know, I when COVID started to happen, actually right before COVID, I went on Twitch and I was like, this isn't as difficult as it looks. You guys are entertaining, sure, but a lot of them are just playing video games.
Yeah.
So I kind of got lulled into that a little bit, started streaming, did that for a little while, and I thought, okay, the streaming, it's fun, it was going okay, but I don't have the time to sit in front of a computer for like 6 hours a day for, you know, 4 days a week.
You know, if you're gonna stream and you're gonna make streaming your main job, you better quit everything else on your life.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, no, it was too much school, work, everything. I was just okay.
Yeah,
Now I do YouTube, it's a lot more manageable,
Yeah,
you
school
know.
and work gets in the way of fun stuff.
You mean life?
Stupid old school.
You mean life?
Life's fun? I didn't notice. Why am I being so dark?
Why are you being so dark? You're being such a negative Nancy right now.
I think he's trying to bounce me out. I think if
Maybe.
I you know,
Nah,
be rude a little bit, he might.
Some behind the scenes stuff may have happened.
Yeah, so I want to talk about like the streaming, right? Because like nowadays there's been a rise, like a revolution kind of, right?
And we're talking about streaming, we're talking about content consumption, like TV
Yeah,
shows and
content
movies.
consumption, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's mostly through streaming services like Netflix, you know, Hulu, Twitch, whatever, YouTube, you know. And I feel like that's kind of interfered in the way of traditional cinema.
Right. As well as TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
traditional cinema and TV, yeah.
All right, so riddle me this. And I know I said that. When was the last time you went to a theater?
Ooh, I'm not the guy to ask.
I'm talking like full house.
The problem with me, old guy like me, old, you know, whippersnapper like me, I like the theater. I like, you know, going to see the movie.
Was that a backdrop on us or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was a slight jab, you know.
Yeah.
I'm slightly offended.
But I'm like,
I'm not, just to clarify, I'm not offended.
Not yet.
I'm too,
Maybe, we'll see.
If you notice, I'm drinking Karakan International Tea Day, and I'm too lazy to actually make a comeback for that comment.
Yeah, sure.
No, but in all seriousness,
Yeah.
there are movies that aren't done justice
True.
when you sit and watch them on as big of a TV as you have, or you need a home theater minimum.
Yeah.
So you kind of need the audio and the big screen,
You need a big
and you know
screen.
sometimes you need some fresh
Like
popcorn.
Avatar, The Way of Water.
Exactly.
Or
I
never
saw it
saw
on
that
cinema. I saw it in the theater. Amazing.
Right.
Amazing movie.
Okay.
On IMAX too.
I really wanted to see that, but I missed it in theaters, so I've never seen it. You know what I mean? It just I missed
So
it.
yeah,
in the
so
window.
like, because I was curious, right? So for comparison's sake, because like you go to a cinema, it's an experience.
Yes.
Right? You're not just watching a movie; it's the experience of like hanging out with your friends, eating popcorn, drinking
Yeah.
soda, you
Yeah.
know, being all unhealthy for like a good 3 hours.
Yeah.
But like the point of that is, right, when you go home and you watch the film at home on Disney Plus, whatever, it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same.
You don't get that same rush. I mean,
No,
yeah,
no.
you're going
You
out.
don't.
You see, going to the movies is a timeout.
No, plus also I think it also helps with the home theater, right? If you have like a good theater setup, maybe it'll be like the same as going to a cinema,
Oh yeah.
right? But in the actual cinema, like the bass will reverberate throughout your body,
Oh, yeah.
and you actually feel the tension as like, let's say a music buildup comes in, like just drums,
Oh yeah.
and you feel it throughout your body, and you feel the tension, as opposed to like a TV speaker or like a home speaker.
Oh yeah. Those don't do
It's not the
justice.
same.
But I feel like we're in the minority, right? I feel like
Yeah,
a lot
kinda,
of people
yeah.
kind of just want to watch the movie.
True.
They kind of the toothpaste can't go back in the tube. Is how I like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone
Yeah.
is so used to getting
Yeah.
the YouTube videos
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Netflix
yeah.
movies right to their thing
And the thing
anytime
is,
they want.
There's hardly any movies you can actually get excited about because right now they're all just quick cash grabs.
Yep.
You know, those basic quick action movies where there's two people
Where there's not
survi-
much story, you know.
and they're going into the field of battle just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everyone's trying to survive.
Wait, what was
I
that
think-
movie? Chasm, was it? Miles Teller and like Anya Taylor-Joy. What was that movie? Gorge or Chasm? It was like a horror thriller kind
yeah.
of thing. And like they developed some sort of love story while they're across borders on this like.
Wait, you were
Kinda
saying
cash.
that they're trying to survive, right? But
Yeah.
I think the movies themselves are trying to survive. more than anything. So they put out these
But
things
they're
because
not
they
part
know
of a
people watch them.
franchise. They're just put
Yeah.
out there. You know, like you see two people with machine guns on the poster. There's another guy
Yeah.
with a machine gun at a poster, running or doing something. There's another guy who's holding a machine gun in his back, just posing.
Solid poster.
So seriously,
I'd watch it.
seriously.
Well, it
You see
kind of
what-
it kind of feeds to the male fantasy. You
know.
what I
That's why
mean?
you thank God.
It's all testosterone,
That's why-
bullets,
That's
fire.
that's why I thank God for Marvel movies because they take you out of that. There's some comedy, there's some
Fair enough.
action,
Fair
there's a
enough.
story.
No, but there was a time because Marvel wasn't oversaturated
Right.
that you would look forward to the next movie. But now with the shows, with the constant, phase 4 basically.
Yeah.
The shows, didn't they come out? Were they announced during COVID?
They were, yeah.
They were, yeah.
They were.
Yeah, the first one was WandaVision.
It was WandaVision and then Loki after.
Yeah.
The
it's
whole
just-
multiverse thing came out.
I think it run its course at that point. You know, people
Yeah.
needed a little
I
bit of a
think
break.
You'd think,
Yeah.
but they're still making shows.
Oh, they're making them, but they're not going.
They're not making a
to
lot
the
of
same
money
level. You know
now.
what I mean? They've
Remember-
slowed down a lot of the movies,
when
things
they-
like that.
Remember, there was a rant by one of the actors from Marvel, the guy who played Hawkeye.
Oh, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah,
Jeremy
so-
Renner.
Oh my
So-
God, Renner.
Did you see it?
Was he? I saw him talking about they
Nah, he
weren't
was-
paying him enough for the.
Yeah,
They
for
paid him
season
half.
2. They
Yeah.
were saying that
No,
they were
but-
going to pay him half.
No, they paid him half for season 1.
No. He got paid full in season 1.
Yeah, they were like.
In season 2, they want to pay him half.
He said the quote that I really like. He's like, because he got hit by a snowplow or whatever. He's like, "Am I half a Jeremy now?"
Oh, low blow, low blow.
Yeah. Well, you can't really avoid it, like most of these studios just want their ROI.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's
straight up.
another thing, right? A lot of these movies right now are gambles.
Yeah.
There was a movie Electric State that had a huge budget, and it's already on Netflix because it did not do well in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to dive more. Like, I want to dive deeper into that, right?
Yeah.
Because if you take a group of talented people and let them do their thing, you usually get a really good product. For example, within the gaming space, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, amazing game. I've played like maybe a couple hours of it, and I'm already in love. I want to keep going, right?
Okay.
Because they literally the story was from a guy from Reddit. They hired this guy to expand the story and make it better and so on. They made the game and it sold 2 million copies in 12 days or something like that.
Damn.
For a small indie company. It's not even a AAA, it's a AA game.
Right.
Probably not even a AA game, you know what I mean?
The lowercase a.
I have to say,
Lowercase a.
I think AAA is losing.
Well, that's a different topic. I just wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
point that as an example.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because the same thing happens in film, right?
Oh,
Like if you look at the most popular films nowadays, like for example, Fast and Furious, very big franchise, but the story's not there anymore. Right? It's all
Yeah.
about action. I think it passed 6.
Oh, we're well past 6.
What I mean is like past 6 is when the story became kind of
Oh,
diluted.
okay. I see what you
know
mean.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
it's just literally just make any movie with
cars and guns and
cars and
explosions.
guns and
Yeah.
crashes and
I,
racing.
I think studios are scared to make
A different kind of
new
formula.
things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to.
Yeah.
That's why you keep seeing remakes,
I think
live action Disney
the only
movies.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
who's
that kind of
doing it
thing.
differently, I think it's just James Cameron.
Yo, James Cameron is a visionary.
Exactly.
He's always been a visionary.
And he's got the clout. You know, he
Yeah,
can
he
he can
does
put his
have the
name on the
clout.
movie, and you know people
It will
turn out
sell.
to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
for
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
for sure.
It's kind of like a Nolan.
Titanic,
kinda like
Avatar, Avatar 2.
Mm.
I mean, khalas.
He's done more than just that, but sure. Yeah.
We're talking about the ones that
The
got
popular
billions.
ones. Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah. That got billions. Sure.
He's got
Yeah,
like 8 more avatars lined up too.
Yeah.
I mean, how long did Avatar hold up the highest gross for how many years? Say what, 10 years?
I think it was 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and
think.
Endgame.
Don't
passed it.
fact check us. This is off of the top of her head.
It's true. Avatar came out in 2009.
Yes.
Or Endgame came out in
2018.
18, 19.
I think so.
So right about 10 years
Yeah.
past Avatar, and then
Highest grossing movie. Yeah.
yeah, and then actually, and here's the funny part, and I remember I read this exactly.
Mm.
Endgame was meant to be kept just a few more weeks in the theaters, and I'm pretty
To
sure.
try and pass.
Yeah, exactly. They want to pass Avatar.
No, but see, what I love about James Cameron is he had the story for Avatar since the 90s, right? He didn't direct or shoot it at all because the technology wasn't there to fulfill his vision or the story.
You think George
The
Lucas?
same goes for Way of Water.
Huh, yeah.
Because like the particle sims weren't there, the
You
technology
have to wait another
wasn't-
10 years.
Exactly. He waited. He
He's like,
waited.
I'll do like another Alita Battle Angel. So
Yeah.
that the thing ready.
To be
But
honest,
come on, Ali the Battle
I've
Angel
not seen it,
was
to be fair.
amazing.
let's be honest. The movie's all graphics at this
Yeah.
point, and he has no fear about the actors getting injured or getting like old or anything, because they're all aliens.
They're all in the green room with a
They're all
bunch
in
of
the,
motion tracking balls all over.
Yeah. True. No, but what they did differently this time is it's all underwater. It's amazing.
I need to
Can't wait
watch
for the
this.
next one, which is
Like just imagine the technology going behind that. You know, that's what boggles my mind primarily.
It was like a very beautiful water documentary.
Yeah. It's kind of like that because in Hollywood, right? There's dry, what's called dry to wet, right? So you shoot it dry on wires on a rig, and then on post it becomes underwater.
Right.
But you can't capture that same water feel when someone's just like floating in the water in dry. You know, it has to be underwater. You know what I mean? Like that scene in 300 with the Oracle. They
yeah.
shot
No,
that
shit,
underwater.
float around.
Exactly, because you can't simulate that, you know, at the time.
Really?
They couldn't simulate it. The
That
cloth
was
physics,
underwater?
yeah. The cloth physics and the, you know, the way her hair would
All
move.
the slow motion stuff?
Yeah,
that was
all underwater, yeah. With the Oracle, yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. Fun fact.
Yeah, no.
Fun fact.
No, but like that speaks volumes of how Hollywood is dying at the moment. At least for me, right? It could be like different for some other people, but for me, I'm not excited for the next movie
Well,
anymore.
that's why they're making these quick cash grabs. These fast action movies, there are just one timers. There's no
Yeah.
franchise. It's because they want. It's not that they want ROI. They gotta get people paid, and so you know they got family.
That comes
Yeah.
from ROI, right? And then, but the problem is you don't, and you see this everywhere. It's not just movies; it's in sport everywhere. They don't want to take a risk on making the next James Cameron. They want to use whatever they have and try and like keep the money flowing. You know, at the end of the day,
Exactly, yeah.
then that hurts everything, and
Yeah,
you
it
don't get
does,
the
yeah.
new stuff. You're just getting the same old things rehashed. That's why I don't know if you guys saw Sinners.
Sinners, no, no,
you
not
should,
yet.
No,
I don't
but
know if it's still in theaters, but you should
But
give it a
I
watch.
am hearing good things.
It's a great movie.
One of the best horror movies ever.
Very good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was
Horror is
just
actually
the
becoming
studios giving Ryan Coogler a chance. Or you know,
Horror is
he's had a chance, but
Aren't you noticing that horror is becoming big? First Sinners, then Final Destination Bloodlines,
Yeah.
and this was like the final appearance of what's his name? The actor's name?
Cool.
Uh,
For what? Final Destination?
yeah.
I don't know.
I think he played the devil.
I didn't see the original Final Destination.
You didn't see any Final
No,
Destination?
I've not seen any Final Destination movies.
Have you seen?
Not my cup of
I've
tea,
seen
bro.
a few, yeah.
You know the. Okay, I don't want.
There's too many characters in those movies, man.
The black guy.
You're gonna have to be more specific than that. I think.
Way more specific, bro.
Okay, the tall black guy who speaks in riddles. Come on, there's no.
Still need to be
Maybe
very
I haven't
specific.
seen enough.
If you're gonna like what,
May I?
Forrest Whitaker?
May I? May I?
Go ahead. I
Okay.
mean, like, you know, Tony Todd.
Tony Todd. It
Yeah.
was his last appearance on Final Destination.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, because he passed away in November.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was his last appearance on screen.
That's unfortunate.
What was that other actor's name? The one who was on Destiny 2.
Oh, the John Wick guy. The guy's in John Wick as
He
well.
was in John Wick.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
That
not
guy.
gonna-
Yeah,
He
yeah, I
had
know.
some
him,
post,
yeah.
post-death.
The receptionist
appearance.
guy.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
some
In John
post-death-
Wick, yeah.
Yeah, it had also some post-death appearances.
Mm.
You gotta admit that they kept that movie on ice,
Mm.
literally on ice, for like what, 6 months now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they've been in post production for years, so they still have footage of this, you know, post death,
Oh yeah.
right? Like Kevin Conroy, for example, he's been dead for a while. Unfortunately,
There will never be another Batman.
there will never be another Batman. But like before he passed, he managed to record the vice president for that Devil May Cry anime. He voiced as the vice president.
Was him? Oh yeah.
It is him. Yes, it is him.
I gotta pay
It's
attention.
his voice.
I gotta pay attention.
Like the moment I heard it, I'm like,
I was more.
yo, that's Kevin Conroy.
I was more about the guy who played the voice of Lelouch.
Oh, okay. Well, see,
Who's Dante, of course.
yeah. So the guy who voiced Dante is the voice actor for Nero, the
Yeah,
games.
I know.
Yeah. So like my thing is, right, post production can take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on the studio's budget. You know, depending on the vision of the director.
Indeed.
So it really just depends.
Do you want to see a movie that's a franchise that's been done on a annual basis?
Nope.
No.
Would
it
you
comes
rather-
back to it, right? You need the passion and the actual
Exactly.
the desire from the creators and people involved
That's
in
what
it to
I'm-
make a good product.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. If a movie takes, let's say, months to make, would that be good production or bad production?
That's bad production.
Yeah, it's seemingly bad, but
How many months are we talking?
It depends on the duration of the film, I guess.
Right, we're talking.
Because like a short film that would span about maybe 15, 20 minutes, that'll take months. Maybe even a year to shoot.
Oh yeah.
Just to shoot.
Oh yeah.
And you have post-production, VFX,
The
Foley.
editing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, it's a lot of things, right?
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
So can be a year, can be 2 years. But like shooting the actual film usually takes a year. Usually.
All right. So to go back to our topic now, I just got a post that came up to me while I was reading newsfeed. All right. You remember Rebel Moon?
Rebel Moon, yeah.
Yeah. Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
All right. Now this was said. I don't know if it's speculation or not. It said that this franchise is officially dead.
I think it was dead on arrival. I don't know if you
I
guys
mean-
watched it, but
I mean, I watched the first one.
that
and
was garbage.
How dare you?
That was really bad. I'm sorry.
How
I'm gonna piss off a
dare
lot
you?
of Snyder heads, but that was not.
Hey,
a
look,
good
I'm a
movie.
Snyder fan and I get it. Snyder has a lot of
That
hits. Well, hold on.
Hey, that movie.
Snyder has a lot of hits, but he also has a lot of misses. Like Army of the Dead. You don't know Army of the Dead, the Netflix show?
I know.
Or the Netflix movie?
I know of Army of the Dead. I just never seen it.
Yeah, so it's terrible. Story-wise.
Okay.
Visuals, amazing.
Fun movie, I presume.
Yeah, fun
Okay.
movie.
I think the only
But
movie.
like, because it's new, the franchise, it may be a franchise, it may become a franchise. They did do a spin-off for one of the characters. But like, my thing is, I don't care if it's a new movie or an old movie, story has to come first.
I think the only movie that was like good for zombies was only Resident Evil. No, as a franchise as well as a story.
The Resident Evil movies,
Yes, the one with what's her name? That
Mia Jovovich.
Yeah.
Are you
Were those
Are you
zombies
Come on,
or
come on.
are you okay?
You had to. Okay, not the final stuff. The first stuff.
you're losing us here?
You're losing us, bro.
Go
Like,
for
he agrees. Like, it was terrible.
Hey,
You lost me on the Snyder
new,
ones.
You're new here.
It's terrible, man.
That's okay.
The Resident Evil movies were terrible. They were terribly written. The plot twists
Hey.
were so, were so.
Yeah,
What's it called?
there's nothing wrong with
Predictable.
enjoying a
Yeah,
bad
there's
movie.
nothing wrong with it.
But
Of course, it's
the movies
predictable.
aren't good.
You don't expect it to be like the actual games where you actually pick up something and then turn it into something else.
No, it
No,
doesn't have
no,
to be.
that's not the
Crafting
thing.
and
No, no, no,
upgrading
no.
weapons.
That's not my thing. My thing is like they didn't deliver a good story.
With the T virus.
The writing was terrible. The dialogue was.
He's talking about Resident Evil. I'm
Yeah,
agreeing
yeah, yeah.
for Rebel Moon, by the way.
Yeah, just so you don't get
So we're
confused.
cornering you on this one.
I'm getting it from two sides.
like the Justice League, for example, right?
Okay.
The Snyder cut, amazing,
There you go.
because it was his vision. It wasn't
Yeah.
Warner Brothers. It
Yeah.
was his vision.
It was hit. And that was a
The
hit.
first release of Justice League was terrible, of
course.
terrible,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
But then he released his own cut, where it was shot in a 4:3 aspect ratio instead of a 16:9 aspect ratio.
Right?
So you get to see more of the movie.
Yeah.
And
Right.
dude, it was phenomenal,
That's pretty
I
good.
agree.
right?
Thing
I
is,
agree.
I think
Yeah.
because Snyder Cut was good, he thought, "Oh, I'm gonna make Rebel Moon," and he did his own
Maybe.
thing. And he went a little too far and got
maybe,
a
yeah,
little bit.
that's
It
too far.
wasn't because of
Self-indulgent.
Snyderverse. It wasn't because of the Snyder's cut. It was because he wanted his own version of Star Wars.
Oh, that's true. They booted him off Star Wars. Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
started to make his own Star Wars.
I feel
but
like that-
Here we are.
I feel like if I'm in charge of Star Wars and I watch Rebel Moon, I go, "Okay, we made a good choice."
I mean, Harry Potter is Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh wait, Dark Lord, Chosen One,
Orphan
it's there.
boy, forced to live with aunt and uncle. You know.
Oh yeah.
Harry and Luke. Finds out he's a wizard. Gets trained by an old guy.
It-
Gets taken by an old guy
Okay.
to train with another old guy. You know, it's literally Star
Obi-Wan,
Wars.
Yoda.
Like J.K. Rowling was not a visionary. She just ripped off of Star Wars.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
You know, when I was a kid, I loved Star Wars, right? Or I loved
Potter.
Harry Potter. Until now, I still like Harry Potter, but like it's
Alright,
not
so-
my
so
top.
Is
three
Hermione
anymore.
So is Hermione and Ronald C-3PO and R2D2?
No. Hermione is that tension, that
It'll be
love
Luke and
tension.
Leia, right?
Luke and
Yeah.
Leia. But you'll only ever see her as a sister.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Actually,
Yeah.
that I'm starting to dislike Harry
And then
Potter a little
the
bit now.
scruffy, the scruffy sidekick.
He's Han Solo.
Ron Weasley is Han Solo.
He's a little bit more Chewbacca, but
It's the hair, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the hair.
No, but
okay.
literally, it's Harry Potter is Star Wars. Because like people
Alright,
pull
I'll agree.
inspiration
Yeah, everything
from
is
everywhere,
derivative
you know what I
eventually.
mean?
Yeah, but she literally, I think she literally ripped off the story.
yeah, I'm not gonna,
Well-
go out of my way to give J.K. Rowling credit.
Kind of.
Everything is
kind of.
derivative.
It's not as bad. It's not as bad as Rebel Moon. It's not as bad as Rebel Moon. There were some original ideas.
I mean, it's like there was also when people also said that Sonic was ripped off of Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, like I said, everything. Rebel
Everything,
Moon
yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
Seven
Everything
Samurai,
can be-
except that and
Oh,
really
Seven-
drawn out.
Oh,
Yeah,
Seven
they pulled
Samurai.
inspiration from
Oh, Seven Samurai
like
is the original source.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
like the Akira slide. How many times have you seen the Akira slide?
And
The-
that's
the
like
motorcycle
just
slide.
that's a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
That's not like
a one-to-one copy of that specific scene on every anime, on every movie that has a motorcycle.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Because it's iconic.
But here's what happened. So Zack Snyder made Rebel Moon 2 movies that went straight to Netflix, right? Apparently didn't do well afterwards, right? And looks like now the franchise is officially dead, which could have been more. Do you agree? It could have been more.
I think if it was good, anything can be more. But
wasn't
it seemed
good.
like it was destined to fail from the jump because
Did he?
even
do you
with
think that he already believed it would fail, even though he already made 2 movies?
I was just confused on why he needed a director's cut, a Snyder's cut of a movie he had full control over.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It released in one version and then he released a Snyder cut. I was
Cash
confused
grab.
about that.
Cash
Zack
grab.
Snyder,
But
man.
yeah, at
Zack
the end,
Snyder.
I'm not gonna.
He's
I'm not
banking
gonna hound
on
anyone.
the success of like the post success of Justice League, right? Because people were like, "Oh, the Snyder cut was amazing." He was hoping that the same thing would happen with Rebel Moon.
He probably made his money.
He probably
money's
did.
probably in the
He
bank
probably
account by
did.
now.
Still wondering what will happen in James Gunn's version of Superman.
I think he'll do a good job.
I think he'll do a good
It
job.
looks pretty promising.
Oh,
yeah.
Like not to stray off topic too much, but
Yeah, exactly.
he did a good job on everything else. All the other DC stuff he's done.
Oh yeah.
So like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad
Well,
were great.
I think because James Gunn does a lot of research. I think
Is
He's
he
a
comic book accurate?
not
In your
necessarily,
opinion,
but like comic book accuracy is not a thing for me. Okay, for me, it's about delivering the character. Like when we talked about Captain America,
Yes.
right? The transition from Steve Rogers to Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
The transition was exactly the same. Steve Rogers is a good man. Sam Wilson is a good man. He talked down his opponent in Civil War, which was the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Sorry, in the Winter Soldier, not Civil War or whatever. Like, you know, they delivered the character. That's what's important for me when it comes to like comic book movies.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, I want to see like a vision, a storytelling vision. You know,
Yes.
they don't have to give me the same character I saw, but I needed to see a reason why. Why did you want to make this guy like this? Right. So when they did the whole Batman can kill thing in the Batman vs Superman, I didn't really feel the reason, it didn't feel like there was a
Wait,
bigger
Batman-
vision and anything like that.
Batman vs Superman didn't kill.
I used guns.
He did kill it, right? I'm pretty sure that was
He
the
didn't
whole.
kill-
He practically
pretty
murdered
much-
those guys.
yeah, he used- he
Like,
used-
He just maimed them or
I
tattooed them.
mean,
They're like
it looked like
gunned
they,
them down.
They were like-
they had like
he
crazy
bra-
fractures.
He drove through a car
He
that
branded them. He
Exactly.
branded them like cows, man.
I mean,
It's like, all right, all right, he branded them like cows. I'm like, come to
That
Batman
was
farm.
that was
Come
a
to
lucky
Batman
guy.
farm.
That was the lucky ones. If you watch back, he slams people down on their heads, and it's
yeah,
it's
like,
a whole
that
thing.
would
The
kill
best thing you
someone.
get is like a
It's not-
brain damage or concussion.
No, it was a strong slam, dude.
not looking
Let's
good
be
for those
honest, it
guys.
was Flashpoint Batman that only killed. And
No,
used
but
guns.
that's Thomas Wayne. That's not
of course, yeah.
But
right?
the
Different
point I was
story
trying to make is that if the director has a vision and he wants to tell a story, then I'm happy.
Yeah,
That's why James Gunn, every single thing he's done, it seemed like he has a vision, he has a voice. Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, whatever you want to look at, you can feel his influence behind it.
Yeah,
It's not just, oh, we need a movie with this character, let's put James Gunn on it and then pack it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
yeah.
And
requires
that's what happens with a lot of the MCU
Yeah, it
movies.
requires a plan. Now, here's the thing. So now, when I mentioned now Rebel Moon, okay, do you think if there's a difference if this movie was on theater, any movie, not just Rebel Moon, because that movie only came out on streaming.
Streaming,
service.
right?
All right. So does it matter if a movie, as you mentioned, director's involvement? Does it matter if a movie is on theater or streaming service?
No, I don't think. I think the
Yeah,
difference comes
does the
in.
success
Yeah.
depend on it?
Oh,
Let
success.
me go back to the early 2000s. Do you remember
Yes.
the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yes.
If I
With
recall correctly,
Leonardo
that
DiCaprio
did
and,
not go out to theaters. That went out to direct to
DVD.
video.
Really?
Okay.
If I recall
Tom
correctly.
Hanks and
Yeah,
Leonardo
Tom
DiCaprio?
Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay,
sold
go ahead.
millions.
Oh.
It's a great movie.
It was still on like VHS or something like that,
Mhm.
or like DVD maybe,
Oh, okay.
right? Or
Yeah. Could be
VCD, I guess.
No. You want this?
Yeah, but like my point is,
Depending
right?
on the year.
It doesn't matter what format. My point is, it was direct to video,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it still sold millions
Yeah.
because they delivered a good story.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's a true story. It was based on a true story
Yeah.
and real people,
Yeah.
but it was still adapted for the big screen.
Yeah.
you know
A
what I mean?
19-year-old kid managed to bankrupt the government.
Pretty much. But
Yeah.
I don't think the success of a movie matters what format it's released on.
Yeah, again, if you're looking at commercial versus critical success, the critical obviously, like if something is commercially successful, it's gonna make more movies and that kind of thing. Critical success doesn't always translate into money,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly. But
and the vice versa as well.
Yeah.
exactly. But the difference is that movie was born in the age of no social media, barely in the internet.
No, just commercials, TV
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Back then, that was social
commercials.
media.
Posters, I guess, on like video stop or something like that.
Billboards.
Yeah, billboard.
Oh, yeah. How could a movie like that succeed when movies today are basically what? Dying?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of truth to
Yeah.
cinema dying a little bit, just because of the money coming in at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Everything is moving to streaming because it's a lot more. You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know that like this many people have already given you money.
Exactly.
Me, Netflix, okay, I have say 7 million people who are paying me subscription. So I
Right.
know, okay, if I put out anything on this, maybe it'll go up. Maybe I'll lose subscriptions, but not that much.
Yeah.
It'll still be in a understandable and predictable range.
Yeah.
But
It's a
at the
lot
end of the
easier to
day,
predict
the returns
nowadays,
you
yeah.
can get are not as good if you're selling individual tickets.
True.
Right. Let me ask you here, since now these stream since now it doesn't matter whether it's on a streaming service or cinema,
Mm-hmm.
all right, or studio based on studio. But let's not forget the streaming service does have its own studio, so they can produce this content.
Yes.
Now, what's your, let's say, top 2 content on Netflix?
Netflix. Type of content or actual just titles?
Netflix originals.
Netflix original.
Yeah. Show or movie? For me, I'll start. Okay, I'll go with Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
Right.
Good series.
It's a great
very good
series. I don't think it's a Netflix original.
It is a Netflix original.
I think it's a BBC.
Apparently within collaboration with BBC.
Something like
It's
that.
produced by
Okay.
BBC,
Yeah,
but
that's fair
then
enough. That's a
published-
great show. That's
Oh,
an
yeah.
unbelievable show.
Oh yeah.
I think they're doing a movie as well now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing a movie?
I think so.
That show is legendary.
Incredible.
Very gentlemanly.
I order the Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
What's your
that.
second one then?
The second one, I got Blood of Zeus.
Blood of Zeus.
Blood of Zeus.
You like
I've
that?
seen that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like Greek mythology.
I like Greek mythology too, but like it was alright.
Okay,
I wouldn't put it as my top 2.
that's
you
me.
know?
Might be a little bit of recency bias, but I think for me, Daredevil, the original, it's on Disney Plus now.
Before Born Again.
Before Born Again, yeah.
Okay.
Daredevil,
The
yeah.
3 seasons that were on Netflix directly,
Nice.
those were solid, and it felt like they didn't have, at least in the early stage,
Mm.
they didn't. They were like, okay, let's make a show about Daredevil, and you can take the reins, and you got a really good pure product because it wasn't someone at Marvel going, okay, we need something from Daredevil. Let's get this out.
Then you got Punisher, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones.
You got the
Iron
whole So then when they started going, okay, we can make the Defenders, we can do our own Avengers thing
Yeah, yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
Then the quality started sort of
Kind of
suffering.
started dwindling.
Yeah, the other shows did not.
because they're copying
really
an
weren't as good.
idea.
Not
No,
copying the idea, but
I
also they
wouldn't
were
say
trying to
copying.
do
Well,
it.
not copying, but more like not copying, but rather like they're just
Regurgitating a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
word. Regurgitating the
There you
same.
And
go.
I think that's the same reason Justice League struggled, because they went, oh, look at Marvel, they're doing Avengers, they're making a bunch of money, let's do that. And then they didn't look at any of the building blocks that got them there, and they're like, okay, let's make Justice League, let's go.
Immediately. just
And
goes
yeah,
straight. So what's your second pick then?
ooh, I don't really know for Netflix.
Yeah.
Got to be an original, but something like the slightly either doing well or slightly. Doing
Ooh, okay, I guess this is a Netflix original, technically, Irishman.
Oh
And
yeah,
this kind of links back
Irishman.
to
the
what I
one
was
with
talking
Dan
about.
DeVito and
Not Danny DeVito.
Oh, Robert
Joe,
De Niro.
Joe Pesci.
Exactly, yeah.
Joe Pesci and
So
De
I
Niro.
love Scorsese,
And you
and
blame it? They look the same
that's offensive
they
to one
don't.
of them. I
because
don't
they're
know.
short.
No, they don't.
Because they're short. Joe Pesci and Danny DeVito.
Joe Pesci's not that short, but okay.
One. All right.
Hey, there goes our Joe Pesci guest appearance. He's not gonna want to come
Oh
on
yeah,
after that.
sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe we may pissed him off so much he'll actually.
Yeah, so why
We'll set the
Irishman?
record straight.
Irishman, by the way, is a technological advancement.
Oh yeah, with the whole aging and stuff like that, right? Yeah,
It's amazing.
so de-aging and things.
I'll explain later. Let him finish.
Okay, I think I got it.
See, I like Scorsese movies because
Yeah.
he's another director who makes movies that
Yeah.
he thinks are good,
Mm.
And the movie's great. It's a super
Yeah,
long movie.
How they made Al Pacino look seem so young.
I'll get to that. Let him finish.
Fine.
But it's a great movie, right? And it was weird. Like, okay, this is Scorsese. He's a renowned director. Why is this going straight to streaming? And I know it had like a partial theater release, and then like you see again Killers of the Flower Moon, another great movie, Apple TV.
Yeah.
So even these great directors.
Wasn't Irishman trending for a while? It was
It
top
was.
10 for like a
Yeah.
good 3 or 4 months, I think.
On
Right?
Netflix?
Yeah, on Netflix.
We're talking in Qatar or in general?
In
Could be
general.
everywhere, yeah.
Could be.
general.
Could be.
But yeah, I mean that kind of goes to show that if guys like Scorsese can't get the confidence of studios to go to theaters and that kind of thing, then who can? You know what I mean? It's
Wait,
the really
Irishman straight to
difficult.
streaming? It didn't go in theaters?
It was. I think it was at the same time.
Okay.
It definitely had some sort of thing where it was
I'm
like a
gonna
month, maybe it was on.
Fact
streaming.
check this
It
right
was
now.
super quick.
Okay.
But I know Kills of the Flower Moon, I think, was right away on Apple TV,
Mm.
which is really sad to see if you're a fan of these kind of things. That
Yeah.
like guys who are.
I mean, so was Napoleon. It went theater then Apple.
Mm. Yeah, it just shows that the state of movies, but I guess that's where streaming comes in. Right?
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about TV
Oh,
as
we
a
haven't,
medium
no,
yet,
no.
but
We're still on movies.
yeah,
All right,
But it's-
come on, you gotta admit. First, they come on theaters if we're talking about movies. Then
and then they go to streaming.
Yeah, that's always been
usually.
the formula, right? You go to theaters, you make people who want to see right away spend money
Yep.
and get out there, and then it used to be DVD and that kind of thing on demand. Now it's streaming.
Yep.
But it seems like people are impatient. You know, you've given them too much. Like I was saying, toothpaste can't go back in.
Yeah, true.
They're so used to getting what they want when they want.
There's a lot of instant gratification nowadays, as opposed to like
All right.
back like maybe 10, 15 years ago when you were waiting for the next Marvel movie. You know.
So here's what I found out about The Irishman. Limited theatrical release,
Limited.
November 1, 2019. Then it came to streaming, same month, 27 November
Yeah.
2019.
So limited. That usually means select theaters.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't. I think I was in the U.S. at the time. I don't think it was in many theaters around me.
Yeah.
Which Scorsese
No, but it goes
movie,
to
you know?
show, right? My point earlier about if it's a good story, people will watch it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it was 2019. It could have been during the time where COVID was starting to catch up.
Yeah. By the way, while
This is
we're
before
having this
COVID.
conversation, I'm still thinking of my top
Damn.
because there's not many good
Still?
Netflix originals.
That's what was making
There's
me
not
struggle.
many Netflix
I mean,
originals.
how long have
good,
you watched
oh wait,
Netflix?
wait.
There you
Luke
go.
Cage, Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
The reason I liked Luke Cage was number one, it was very grounded. It was very grounded. No super villain, no nothing, just crime in the neighborhood. Right, the very first season.
Right,
Oh,
right.
oh, yeah, I
I
agree.
think the first half of that season was solid, and then you know
it
kind
kind
of
of.
yeah.
it kinda
I
dipped,
think a lot of
but-
Marvel
but-
shows struggle like that.
Yes, but also Mahershala Ali is there.
Yeah.
Amazing actor.
But
Amazing actor.
They killed him off like
They
halfway
killed him
through.
off halfway. Yeah.
That's
So
when it
then
started to
kind of
struggle.
you know.
Still waiting
but
for that Blade,
It's
man.
still a really good movie. It's still a really good series though. Right. The second one I would say, any. I'm still thinking.
Right?
Yeah,
It's-
Let's look back.
We'll come
Okay.
back, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, what about like Twitch streaming and YouTube streaming? You know, like nowadays also with the current generation, Gen Alpha, Gen Zs, right?
Yeah.
They're more into these types of content. Like instead of like actual celebrities, it's just personalities, internet personalities. Like for example, off the top of my head, this guy's Toast, Pokimane, Queso, you know,
Right.
those guys.
Yeah.
Like they're very entertaining, but they're entertaining to a point. It only like kind of what's the word? It only grabs the attention of the younger audience. Because as for me, I watch a little bit of this guy's Toast here and there, but mostly from shorts or like clips, like maybe 10-15 minute clips.
Yeah, I think
know?
that's a sort of generational gap thing where you know I can't watch it either. I can't sit and watch a stream for hours and hours.
Yeah, and you're 10 years
But-
younger than we are.
But like you know,
Do you
kids these
have
days
to
will probably
mention
do it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Maybe he has good skin.
It's fine.
I hate
But,
it.
Our wrinkles give it away. It's fine. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
But the
I'm
you
going
know
for
the
chip lighting
whole
again.
TikTok and I sound like a boomer saying this, but you know, kids in their TikTok and they want this and that. But it's a sort of thing where one, it's the instant gratification is one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But if I'm watching like Ocean's 11, I can't go and you know message George Clooney and say, hey, this is
Pretty
what I'm
much.
thinking. But if I'm watching Kai Cenat, I can type something in chat that he might never see. But
You might never see.
So,
But there's
they
also a
feel
good
lot
chance that
more-
he sees it.
They feel a lot more accessible.
Yeah,
you know what I
true.
mean. So I think it's entertainment is shifting a little bit,
Kind of.
and what people want out of it is changing because technology is changing or has changed.
Engagement.
Because like Twitch has like what 3 million monthly subscriptions,
Talking like,
like active.
you mean for premiums?
No, just people subscribing.
Oh.
3 million.
Oh, people paying money for
Yeah.
subs? I have no idea, but it could be something like that.
They do. If you.
I read it somewhere at some point.
Yeah, like
right?
all the big ones are like 50K
Yeah.
a piece. So
Yeah.
They'll
So
probably add
then
up.
like also, you know, they have like maybe like 2.5 million active users daily, something like that.
yeah, and you're
I
starting
think
to
it's
see
because
like
there's this
celebrities.
called, YouTube. There's this thing called YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like Netflix.
Uh-huh.
All right, streaming service.
Mm.
You get to see stuff. Plus, you get to see you get your own store like you do on Google Play, where it's called Google Play, of course. You get to buy movies or TV shows on demand, same way that anyone does on the iTunes Store or Amazon.
Yeah, everyone's
Got their
turning
own.
into streaming platforms now.
Yeah, but this one you buy on demand stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
YouTube has already on demand.
Yeah, but we're moving the conversation from that to like
sorry.
singular personalities. You know, like
Yeah.
you have a valid point.
Yes, yeah.
But like what we're talking about is like like the shift in media.
Yeah, I think that sort of came from cable a little bit when when Netflix first started popping up. It was that, oh, okay, you want to watch TV, pay for all these packages or pay for one package, and then you get these channels. And the whole value proposition of Netflix is, oh, we'll give you whatever you want whenever you want.
I thought Netflix started with renting DVD.
Yeah, but when as a streaming service,
Okay.
Yeah. So they were like, okay, we'll give you whenever you want, no ads, and just pay this per month. You don't have to deal with cable and all satellites and all this stuff. And now we're kind of at the point where streaming has become what cable was.
Yeah.
Where you need, oh, okay, you want to watch this? Oh, get Disney Plus. Oh, you want to watch this? You have to pay for this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Tubi. It's on
but
this.
cable
it's
was
on that.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Cable was cheaper.
Oh yeah.
Like you're promised like maybe 100 channels
Right.
for like a very small monthly fee.
Yeah.
But now multiple streaming services, $10.
Right. And they're bringing
$18 Netflix,
they're
$10
bringing the ads
whatever.
back in slowly.
Yes,
and
exactly.
so they've got us, and now they're really
and
and now you're hooked.
right.
And now Netflix is doing this micro thing where you gotta pay a certain amount to get no ads.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I
You
mean,
gotta
I don't
roll
think
that out,
right.
right?
Oh yeah. They rolled that out
Forgot
so
about
long
that.
ago. If you get the basic package, you get a limited amount of Netflix originals.
Yeah.
Plus anything you watch will have ads.
Yeah, so see, I think that's kind of what led to streaming and other like streaming as in live streaming
Yeah.
getting a little bit of a foothold because now the things aren't as accessible as they were. It wasn't just one service that you pay for or your dad pays for and you jump on and you get all this stuff. Now, okay, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. So now you have something that's free and you can just go whenever you want and get it whenever you want pretty much, right?
All right, let me list the type of streaming services I think you're on, and you say yes or no. Okay.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay. Ready?
Go for it.
All right. Netflix,
Yes.
Prime Video.
My parents have it, I think, but I don't pay for it.
Does that count?
Account.
Okay, so that's a yes. All right. YouTube.
I don't pay for it, no. Not
Okay.
premium, not TV.
Okay, OSN.
No.
Disney Plus.
No.
Hulu.
No, but things if you asked me when I was in the US, I'd probably say yes to like all of
Okay.
these.
HBO.
I had like Paramount Plus and random stuff like that. It was stupid.
All right.
But,
HBO.
No,
Paramount.
not anymore. I was paying for that for like 2 years without realizing.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Not off the top of my head, but for me personally, I only have Netflix and Disney Plus. Speaking of Netflix originals, I remembered now because I had to Google it. It was a Korean show. It's called When Life Gives You Tangerines. I watched it with my wife. Amazing story.
I like the
Amazing story. I won't spoil anything, but it's kind of a coming of age kind of story. It's amazing. Amazing.
I like the one. What's it called? When they're in the hotel and it's called something King. Land of Kings.
I've not seen that, no.
Good show. Good show. I recommend watching it.
All right.
Your wife probably watched it. I'm pretty sure all our wives are now into Korean series. Oh God, the drama.
Oh my god.
The
I don't
drama.
even want don't get me started. Anyway,
Moving on.
moving back to the whole like internet personalities being more than
There are.
more of the pop culture thing now, right?
It feels like we're.
It's main stage now, like internet personalities.
I feel like we're
Exactly.
taking a jab at ourselves because we are these internet personalities being.
No, but we're not big. We're not
I mean,
big
it's
at
just
all.
it
Wow.
goes to show. Hey, we
Coming
gotta-
from our production officer or producer having no faith in our quality of production.
No, I have
Alright,
complete
fine.
faith with our production. It's a matter of like discoverability.
True.
Because nowadays you have to cater to the algorithm,
Of course.
right? And if you do that, you're not being original ever.
Yeah, think of it this way. If an internet personality now has to do what the algorithm demands him to do in order for him to get more views or more engagement, he is not doing what he likes. He's doing what just to get the views.
He's essentially a slave to the system.
Yeah, there's ways you can play around and
Yeah.
like use a format and then put your own spin on it,
Yeah,
that kind of
exactly.
thing.
But-
Again,
Exactly.
everything is derivative.
But,
you know
but
what
at
I
this
mean?
point, you're literally losing originality.
You can rip off anything. You guys remember that YouTube show Worth It from BuzzFeed,
No.
right? So the guys that were hosting that started their own channel and it's still called Worth It, right? But then another channel kind of copied the same thing and it's called Bang for Your Buck.
I remember two.
You know what I mean? Like everything can
Yeah,
be
you always
copied,
have-
but you spin it differently.
Right. You have one guy who goes there
I
and okay, let
remember-
me join him, and then another.
I
thing
remember
starts.
because you're right. I remember two specific YouTube channels called Team 4-Star and Little Karibo. They both ripped off, well, not ripped off, created a bridge series for Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball Z. They did collaborations together every now and then, you know? But yeah, I think at this point they can't do it anymore because copyright. And
Yeah.
they also got, one time, Team 4-Star said they got burned out.
Well, that, but also, there's just not much anymore in terms of like original content.
Of course.
Everything is copied. Everything is like inspired from something, even music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that song by Dochi? Anxiety.
Yeah. Oh god, I hate
Right?
that
Somebody that I used to know.
song. Oh, true. Okay.
Even somebody that I used to know was inspired from an older song in
Right.
1982
Yeah.
by some, I think it was a Latino guy. I don't know. I don't remember. But like, I went into the whole rabbit hole at some
You
point.
followed that lead all the way back.
Yeah, exactly. No, but like that's what I'm saying, right? Like the whole Hollywood is dying. It's not false anymore.
Yeah,
It's
I
slowly
think
becoming true.
You're
which
seeing
is
that a little
unfortunate.
bit in terms of like streamers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where they will have celebrities pop up on their
On their
shows
streams,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
And
Even celebrities started streaming, right? Like
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
he started streaming.
Remember the Minecraft movie, basically?
Yeah.
All right, so whoever went to that movie, they didn't go because they know the actors in it. They went because of the references in the
Yep.
movie.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
gotta
that-
hand it to the Minecraft movie. They did do a tribute to Technoblade,
Yes.
which is amazing, by
Yes.
the way. Technoblade never dies.
Was Technoblade?
Big
Oh, oh.
Minecraft YouTuber.
Okay.
Huge Minecraft YouTuber.
Nice.
He passed away from, I think, cancer.
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but like he has a huge following. Overall positive guy. He pushed through regardless of his, condition. Anyway,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
even
you-
just on that point of that movie, that was very heavily promoted by Minecraft YouTubers in general. And Minecraft YouTubers are a risky strategy. You never know what kind of controversy they'll get into.
So you see what happens.
But-
So you see what happens. YouTube, movies, Minecraft, 3 specific industries came all together in one production,
yeah.
which is a
it kind
Minecraft.
of culminated, but I didn't.
Yeah, it
I wouldn't
culminated.
say that they all came together.
Well, in terms of ideas, not
Okay,
yeah,
fair
it culminated in terms of ideas.
Well, the movie has license to reference anything that has
Exactly.
related to Minecraft.
Exactly.
So,
That's what I'm saying. But then people kept getting kicked out of the theater because of the
Oh, that's just poor etiquette. Watch our podcast on cinema etiquette.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
I did enjoy that episode. I was living
Which number was
vicariously
it
through you
again?
guys.
I don't remember.
No, we kind of went into a tangent again. This is what happens on this podcast. We just start talking.
But I'll tell you one thing. We did not just cinema etiquette, but we did do like a very early, very successful episode on comparing both cinemas, which is better, going to the cinemas or streaming at home.
yeah.
Believe me, it was 50-50, very close.
Yeah.
All right, it's more preferability. Everybody gave different reasons. One, people gave reasons in terms of etiquette. One, it was more about being too lazy. So they preferred staying
Actually,
home.
let me touch on that because
Please.
nowadays, right? Nowadays, there is a rise of introverts, unfortunately.
Introverts.
Like people who don't like going outside, who are like
A little bit antisocial.
a little antisocial. They're not
No,
necessarily
that's a
antisocial.
harsh way to put it.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you one thing.
people
if I'm-
prefer
if
to be a
If
little.
somebody
bit-
tells me, let's go to the movie right now, I'll go with them.
yeah, that's
I
because you're an
literally-
extrovert, right?
Yeah,
I would not.
I'm a movie guy. I like going. to the
no, but let
movies.
me get to my point.
And I know
right?
you don't like me going with you to the movies.
Never again. But my point is,
I talk.
hold on. My point is, okay, because of the rise of streaming,
Yeah.
introverts have become more.
Introversy. Yeah.
No, not introverts.
Or I was-
Introverts
Yeah.
have become more common
yeah.
because people who watch Twitch or YouTube or watching all these internet personalities, like they don't go outside anymore. They stay at home. They watch these. They interact with them. They develop parasocial relationships with them.
You know, you actually mentioned a very good point. Every now and then, I watch my nephew. He's like 8 or 7 years old now.
Yeah.
While he's eating, he's watching his phone, while watching YouTube Shorts or TikTok Shorts, or basically just shorts, any kind of shorts.
Painful.
Yeah,
Painful to hear.
Exactly.
The internet
Painful
is
to hear.
kind of taking us to this point.
Yeah.
And it's not even filtered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep wondering, how the hell do you know this stuff? not the looking at it when he mentions something that is like
genuinely dumb,
above
you
his
know.
age.
You're like completely dumbfounded or
Yeah.
caught off guard when he says something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, he told me the source of information. It's like YouTube Shorts.
That's crazy, man.
I'm pulling his phone away from him. I can do that. Actually, I can delete it.
No, but see,
I programmed it.
The point I'm trying
Can
to
anyone
make
delete an
also.
Android phone from remotely?
No,
Time to
probably
find
not.
out.
I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is like nowadays, like because of that, right? The theaters are mostly empty
Yeah.
because of streaming services.
Yeah.
People prefer lazy days over actually going out, interacting, touching ground.
Yeah, I mean, even
What-
if you look at the theaters that are open
Yeah.
here, pretty much everything has been bought out by Novo, and the other ones are either closing down, or there's like one that's still in the box.
we
No,
actually-
Gulf Cinema is under renovation. It is a cultural landmark. It
true.
will not
Forever.
die.
I think it's
they
trying
will-
its best
they
to
will-
die.
It's government funded now.
Oh wow.
Gulf Cinema is actually government funded
Well, the
because it is now a cultural icon.
When they originally built it, they built it only for the workforce, right? Doha Cinema was meant to only have Indian movies for the workforce to actually enjoy. The Gulf Cinema was basically,
The international side.
yeah.
I saw Titanic for the first time in Gulf Cinema. There
I
are a
saw-
lot of cut points, but you know.
I saw Alien Resurrection in there.
I
have
saw
a-
AVP.
The only memory I have of
AVP?
Gulf Cinema
Gulf Cinema.
is
Really? Yeah, AVP.
I must have been dead in 2003.
I just remember seeing the poster for X-Men Last Stand.
Yes.
That's the one vivid memory I have of that place.
Stand.
Going back to the conversation, like if this kind of trend keeps going, then eventually Hollywood will die.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of like I die, but like more like it will transition from theatrical releases or high production value to basically just fix it in post.
Yeah, I think it has
Direct to
to
streaming,
It
you
has
know?
to evolve a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it can't stay in the same structure.
I
that it's in
agree.
now.
I agree, but also at the same time, the experience you get from watching in a theater is completely different.
Especially if you got the right acoustics,
Right.
you
Exactly.
got the right speakers.
Yeah, plus like those
lighting, IMAX.
yeah. So those projectors are tuned so that a wide variety of audiences can enjoy it. Like they're tuned to color, to what else? There's the whole wavelength and light wave thing.
Have you ever heard of Screen X?
No.
It's this new thing they got going on in theaters. Currently, I think it just came out in Egypt, but it's like looking at, but it is like basically three big screens.
Oh yeah, so you have the peripherals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
Oh
that.
yeah. Well, it's Screen X.
Yeah.
It's a new thing.
Yeah.
I hope it actually comes to Qatar.
It will.
You can put TikToks on one side,
Oh.
Family Guy on the other.
Yeah, doom scrolling on the left side, you know?
Man, you just ruined it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now,
No, but like,
now
I
I want to watch it.
No, I want to go back to streaming. You keep derailing the conversation.
What? It was right. This is a new way of watching.
Yeah, so they're innovating, right?
yes, they're
so
innovating.
ScreenX
So
is
it would
like,
not
yeah.
die.
Yes, but
Yes.
I'm still on streaming.
Please continue.
Okay, so streaming now. So I lost my train of thought.
What?
man.
It's still there.
It's
Don't
gone.
blame me.
It's
Don't blame
gone.
me.
No, it's gone. You killed it.
All right. I'll get you back.
You killed the
I'll
momentum.
get you there.
No, I'm done with it now.
I'll get you
I
there.
think on that point, sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit, but things like you see here, the Novo
Yeah,
Majlis or whatever, sorry to name drop, and
Oh yeah.
they start charging for these.
Oh
but,
no. Go ahead. It's fine.
But they're like doing like, oh, we'll serve you food like you're at home, but you're in theater kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So kind of like bridging that gap a little
Yeah.
bit. So
But it's
you
also
see some
very
innovation.
expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time that I saw this ad.
Mm.
This guy wanted popcorn and a slushie on the ad for when he's sitting in Novo Majlis. The wife literally ordered an entire gourmet meal,
Whoa.
appetizers, main course, dessert, the whole shebang.
Whole spread.
And then she said, then you can bring him the popcorn and the slushy.
That's
Wow.
the thing, right? You want the home experience, or it seems like people want the home experience, but you know, they
Netflix
want a little
is
bit.
not that comfortable. I'll tell you one thing. It's like
I've
sitting
never
in a
been.
restaurant.
Never been.
Yeah, what I
Must
saw
be
the ad you were
nice.
talking about, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that
Must
doesn't
be
look
nice.
like I wouldn't
You know?
want to watch a movie
No,
there.
it's
I've
not.
never been. That
It's-
must be nice.
Why would you want to sit in a brown leather chair like it's the one in Applebee's?
You know, I will say though, I did go to that 7-star stuff that Nova does, right?
Yes.
Those are actually pretty nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7-star.
Yeah. I
Imagine-
did it like once just to experience
Well,
it.
you're
I'm like,
right. I agree
What
with
it's
you.
like? I saw that game.
No,
In Novo 7.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
pay
agree.
for that whole seat just to sit at the front of it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I was like this initially, right? By the end, I'm just like that. You know what I mean? Like you're so hooked. It's 10 years in the making.
The moment the portals just.
Oh yeah.
The song portals.
Mm.
Oh, till this day, I listen to it every day.
Mm.
From the original soundtrack of
Yeah.
Endgame. Oh,
Let's finish the episode by like just go around and say
Alright.
what we think Hollywood should do to kind of innovate.
All right, let's give it
I
to the
just
new
want
guy.
before we
first.
get that one last thing, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about sports and sports.
Sports
The
streaming?
fact that sports used to be the last thing that you could put on TV, right? Because people want to watch it live, and it's too expensive to live stream everything, and you
Yeah,
know.
it's usually pay-per-view, right?
Exactly, but now what you're seeing is, and I think this is sort of the final nail in the coffin for TV, is even sports is going to streaming.
It is.
Oh, they-
WWE's
you
on
have to.
Netflix, and they do pay. They have a pay-per-view model, so now you don't even you pay for the subscription, you get all their stuff for free. And I think
The
the
idea-
UFC would do the same thing
The
soon,
idea
probably.
is people pay for licensing to be seen everywhere,
Mhm.
right? They do get money, but they're not being seen by a wider audience. So they want to get the reviews up, and they want to be seen by everyone around the world. So what's the best way of doing that? You have to, like, let's say you said WWE, they pay the publishing license to Netflix in order for them to be seen all over the world,
Right.
Yeah, by a
Even
wider
if-
audience, yeah.
even if it's live.
Yeah.
Which is quite frankly quite an innovation for Netflix to go live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
but
let's
it's
go
nice
around the
one.
table then. Let's start with the table. There's no table.
What's the point again? Sorry.
Let's go around
What's
the
best way-
panel.
What's the best way for
Hollywood to actually innovate to keep up with current trends in entertainment consumption.
I don't think I have the answer, but I think you need to sort of support.
There's no
The-
answer. What's your opinion?
Right. I think
Yeah.
you need to support the artists at the end of the day. You know, the directors, the writers,
Yes.
that kind of thing. You allow them to make the project that they want to do, and you know, obviously every now and again you'll get a Rebel Moon, but overall,
You just gotta
Let him finish. Let him finish. You're fine. You're not
fine.
dead.
Continue, you child.
but and then you know you'll get stuff like Sinners or The Irishman, things that are really good and people like
Yeah.
to see. And you know, you don't need people in theaters every single weekend.
True.
But if you're more conservative and you know support things that are a little bit maybe not guaranteed hits,
Mhm.
and you spread them out a little bit, then maybe you can keep this model going a little bit. You know what I mean?
What about you? What do you think?
Well, I think problem is Hollywood wants to innovate, but they don't want to lose jobs. All right, everyone keeps saying, "Let's use AI. Let's use more graphics." This and that. And you got people like, I'm not saying people, stars like Tom Cruise, who is against this, using more graphics, using more AI or less AI or no AI whatsoever. He wants to keep people's jobs going. Now, after COVID happened, he jump-started literally the movie industry, Hollywood, because he wanted people getting their jobs back. And when that happened, people think that they can still use the classic ideas while at the same time innovating. But stars like him, they don't want to innovate. They want to keep it. They want to keep it the way it is. Hence, why the last movie is Final Reckoning, which is the last Mission Impossible movie.
See, my issue with that is if you don't like movies that are derivative of other movies, AI is just going to keep giving you the same thing over and over
Yep.
again.
But
There's only so
but
much
you don't use
will change.
but you don't use prompts. You just enhance. the current visuals
You want to use it as a tool.
as a tool.
Okay.
You're not.
But you're still taking people out of the. You're taking
You're still
artists out of the
taking
equation.
people out of
You
the
know what I mean?
There's still some people that you are taking out of the picture, but in order to enhance the final product, not. That's it. You're not replacing a true. You know what I mean? The
How?
tools should be used to their right benefit, but not to replace people. Like for example, if you bring a machine to a factory, are you going to replace the people, or are you going to use people to use the machine?
I mean, if you ask a business owner, they're gonna they're gonna kick those people out.
It
and save the
lowers
money.
the
That's-
amount of people that's
yeah.
needed.
That's
to
why
run.
studios want to use AI and stuff like
Yeah.
that, because it's gonna save them money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I'm still against AI in movies, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
But I think what Hollywood should do is just give
You-
full control
Yes.
to the visionary, the director. Because
Correct.
the director, once there's too many cooks in the kitchen, the dish becomes stale,
That's true.
right? You know what I mean? It
Needs to be
becomes
one guy.
convoluted.
Needs to
Yeah.
be one guy.
It'll be over seasoned, over too much potatoes, not enough steak, or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
But if it's like one guy, one vision, one director, he usually can put out what he wants, and you will put out a good product, like
Exactly.
James Cameron.
Of course.
Some Snyder's hits, you know, so, James Gunn,
Oh.
Scorsese,
Ah.
Michael Bay, right? I mean,
And you really transform.
my point stays the same, right? Give full control to the director, and you will get a good product. You know what I mean?
Of
Or
course.
you have a better chance. of getting
Exactly.
that
Oh yeah.
So like the only way you should innovate is to not just release on theaters, but also to stream. It's the only way I see it.
Yeah.
There's
Because
no-
here's the thing, right? People will always value a good story. Always. And we want to be entertained. But if it's a bad story, you don't really like for example, Resident Evil, I'm sorry. Right? The final few movies, like after 10 minutes, I walked out.
Well, yeah, the final 10 movies were crap. I agree with you. I'm not talking about the first ones. Let's say the first movie, Apocalypse. That's it. After that, everything else.
My
was crap.
point stays the same.
Let's just say, while they're still in Raccoon City, it was good. When they went out of Raccoon City, that's it.
I think there's a good way to tie this back in that streaming services and all the new streaming platforms that we're seeing,
Yeah.
since they're competing in such a busy busy market, you know, there's so many of them, they're finding their own ways to differentiate.
Yeah.
So there's that, I don't know, there's a service that basically only does horror movies, like indie horror movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. The one that had Mad God on it.
Mm.
And they're not for me. I don't like any of those movies. But there's somewhere for it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If I were to
There is a market for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
then
Indie
I
horror
would
movies,
be able to find I'd be able to find it on that streaming service. Versus if they release to theaters, they probably crash and burn and not make any
Yeah.
money back. So that it is an
Theater-
avenue to
movie theater-
support these projects.
Yeah.
Let's just say it this way: movie theaters now are just for mainstream. They're not gonna give indies a chance.
It's too risky
Oh yeah.
unless you go to like a specific indie theater.
It is too
Or a
risky,
film
yes.
festival.
It is too
Oh,
risky.
yeah.
I do agree.
I think that's
The
where-
risks,
that's
the
where streaming
risks
comes in.
outweigh the rewards.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like give people or give artists their like full control over movies, shows, anime, whatever it is,
Oh yeah.
right? And they will pull out a good product. Look at Studio Ghibli, Miyazaki.
Okay.
He's always put out a good product
Oh yeah.
because he has full control. The investors don't,
Meddle,
they
right?
don't
Yeah.
meddle into his matters. They don't meddle into his stories, and he's always put out a good story.
Exactly.
Right? My wife, who is not into anime, we recently watched Ponyo. Hey, Ponyo, Mononoke Hime. She enjoyed every single one. And she's not big into those kinds of,
Right.
like animation and stuff. Right?
I'm trying to get my wife into Marvel.
Well, my point is the same though.
It's still a bit of a push.
It still needs a good story.
And even if it's
last
bad,
movie we saw was
Yeah.
last movie we saw was Thunderbolts.
Well, I haven't seen
She
it, so
like
I
it?
can't really say anything yet. I need to see it before I can.
I had to
comment.
choose that movie particularly because all the other movies currently in Qatar are either Indian, quick action grabs, which I really hate, no story, too much action, bullets flying around everywhere, camera shaking.
Put the camera shake.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There was Snow White,
yeah.
all right, which we all know is
No,
yeah, that's not.
yeah,
I'm not even gonna pay to see it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
yeah. What else? Yeah, the only movie was worth watching was Thunderbolts.
But did she like it?
Did she like it? Yeah.
Again, it was the only movie that was good enough in a Marvel way because it still had that realistic action that she liked. She doesn't like fiction that much.
Okay.
I mean, true, Avatar is like, let's say, is it considered sci-fi?
Avatar is
It's a bit of an experience, right? You're going
so
through the whole.
she loved Avatar. Hence why she loved the movie. Yeah, she loved Avatar. The
But
movie.
Avatar is a beautiful movie, dude.
I know it's a
The
beautiful movie.
environment, you know, even especially the way of water underwater, man. Coral reef, so vibrant.
I
you know?
can't wait to see the Ash movie.
Yeah, well,
Oh yeah.
that's my point though, right? People will still value a good story. Like you
Yeah.
said, your wife. I don't know. Did she enjoy Thunderbolts?
I think she did.
Okay,
Yeah,
there
she
you
kept
go.
asking me
So
questions.
it's
she kept
a
asking
matter
me
of
questions about Sentry and some other stuff that was happening. The problem is it was going too fast. I couldn't answer all her questions,
I
so
see.
I answered her after the movie.
yeah.
Who talked more during the movie, you or her? Yeah, it's a genuine question. I just wanna-
I don't like this guy.
So it was nice seeing you guys. Last time, one and done.
I don't like him, man. Kick him out.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Anyway.
But, one final thing I'll say is
Yeah.
even if it's a bad product,
Yeah.
I can still take more value out of it knowing that it's one guy's bad product rather than it being bad because a couple of corporate executives decided to throw in some things.
Yeah.
You know?
Game of Thrones, for example.
Yeah,
There were some corporates that.
I think that was a little bit of both.
Oh yeah.
Because even they
Little
were
bit of
like,
both.
Dan and Dave were like, oh yeah, we'll do it in 7. We need to have Star Wars. to do."
That's the thing, right? Like just when too many cooks
Yeah.
like in the kitchen try to cook one dish,
Yeah,
that's when everything gets
You
complicated.
add too much spice. There's not enough potatoes. The meat's too rare.
Yeah. This has been the episode, guys. It's been Control Geek. This has been Leo.
Abdurrahman.
And hang on. Thanks
And,
for having me on again, guys.
Yeah, and then we'll see you next week for another episode of Control Geek. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to never miss an update from us. Oh, also tell us in the comments what your 2 favorite Netflix originals are, and then we'll probably talk about it.
Or any streaming service. Doesn't have to be Netflix.
Or that.
Yeah, doesn't have to be Netflix only. Any streaming service.
Find your favorite show on Tubi and put it in the comments.
All right, see you guys.
All right. Bye.